Hey, Don here. Okay, well, I did make it back. I wanted to get back. We just got done with our Sunday, Easter Sunday dinner. We had a special dinner today for us. We generally eat TV dinners and stuff. Um, had Mexican cornbread with cheddar cheese and jalapenos and onions and hamburger meat in it. That's what that's got in it. And red beans. They was cooked all day, and they were good too. And for dessert, which would I don't eat lots of dessert, but I can't resist when there's something really good. Once in a while on holiday. Well, I do eat a little cookie here and there, but not. I don't sit down. I eat one, But anyway, you might be able to tell I had the dessert. I got diabetes, and so I splurged a little too much having that. But I also forgot. Normally, this is my supper. Really, what time we had it, So, and what time I got up today, and because it's 6:30 now, it was about 5 when we ate, I think. But p.m. But and I woke up about 5 this morning. So anyway, sopapilla cheesecake. That's what it's called. It has It has cream cheese in it, and what is it? Croissants. You use croissants. I think you use those kinds like the kind you like in the roll-up biscuit, roll-up kind you get in the biscuit can. They're good, and it's got sugar, of course, and cinnamon. I love cinnamon. Anyway, it had some good stuff. So and I got to eat it while it was still warm. That's really good that way. So I've been. It's about 5:30. I was done eating, and I was trying to get back in here and get going. It took me an hour to get back together and going. So let's see if I can. I want to get that power that new CPU fan and heatsink situated. I believe I can just move that memory. Since I've only got one memory stick, I think I can just move it over there. You can see it there. Kind of shiny and everything. With that, though, there's only one memory stick in it, and there's 2 slots, so I think I can. Gosh, you can't even see that memory stick in that view. Don't look to me like the one that's empty. You can't see my mouse. I'm sitting here looking at the preview, pointing at it. That's what you can do on the remote, on the desktop video, but not on this. It's a little bigger than the original, and the other one was right up, just off. But I think it might have actually been touching that. It was touching that memory, and I was worried about it, shortening it out. But there is a sticker. Maybe it goes far enough down. That's the only reason I would allow it to touch it is because of that sticker, paper sticker. I thought, well, I could put a piece of electrical tape on there, but that'd be sticking onto that sticker and it'd peel all the letters off next time when it came off. So if I had 2 memory sticks, I'd have to do something like that. Or I wouldn't be able to use that heatsink. But since there's only one, I think this machine will probably work okay. Excuse me, with it in the slot. That's slot 1, or it's not DIMM 0 and DIMM 1. On this machine, it's DIMM 1 and DIMM 2. I've started getting away from the traditional official way of naming the memory slots, and I finally got it. Once I get it really down in my head, then they decide to change it. I thought it was silly the way they did it before. They did that with everything in computers. They started with 0 and then went to 1. Maybe they did that because that's the way programming is. Maybe they thought that was appropriate. I don't know if I ever thought of that before. So anyway, I want to show you something first that I forgot. I had this all open and forgot about it. It was open the whole time. But I showed you the box. It was all bent up, and luckily nothing was damaged. And this is what I ordered. And I didn't realize it came this morning because they always ring the doorbell, but they didn't. And when this afternoon about 4:30, I thought, well, I'm gonna go. First I said I'll go out there and look on the porch, see if it's out there anyway. And then I thought, well, let me look on here, and they always show you. As a matter of fact, recently, I don't know how long they've been doing it, but recently I realized they set it down on your porch and take a picture of it to prove they did it, Well, they didn't take no picture of that bent-up box, huh? That was convenient, wasn't it? There's no picture on this one. They didn't want to show their damage that somebody did that box. And it had, I'm sure it didn't happen in the Amazon warehouse. I'm sure it happened in shipping. Luckily it didn't damage the products. But they it says here, and this is odd. I don't remember. Of course, I don't look at these all the time, but it says it was left inside the resident's mailbox. Well, it wasn't in our. We have those country mailboxes out at the curb. I mean, we're not way out in the country, but those the rural mailbox. It's not the kind hanging on the side of the house by the door like they have in the city or used to have in the city. My grandma had where my both grandmas lived in, and where I was actually born, River Oaks, Texas, it's a suburb of Fort Worth. They had them up on the by the front door, and the mailman would walk in his route and walk to every door. Always did for all those years. I guess they still do that over there. I mean, I haven't been over there in a long time, but that way in a long time. But anyway, ours are out at the street, rural. I can't say the word rural mailbox type. Even though we're in a little residential neighborhood here where I live. Like I always said, I live next door. I grew up in this house, and I used to say I grew up next door to the country. And once I got grown, I ended up getting me a place way out in the country. Lived out there for 9 years, and then moved. Still wish I had moved to this day, 20-something years later. I really had planned on getting another place somewhere else in the country, and I never did. That's where I messed up, because I had the chance and I didn't do it. But moving on. Okay, so here's what it is. That's all I wanted to show on that. So I'll just close them. And I did that to hide some of my personal information there, making that half there. But I wondered, I haven't looked yet. Well, here's what it looks like in the pictures. You can get a better view of it. I showed this the other day, but I'll show it again. And I checked. This is an AM2 processor, socket AM2, and there, AM2. Oh, let's see. It's the only place it's mentioned. I thought it was in there several times, and it said AM2 and AM2 Plus. I think the way they've got it written there, it's both. With the parentheses beside it. Oh, I can't swear to it now, but the ones I was looking at so many. But yeah, if you search that whole page, it's only in there once. But okay, dimensions. Here we go. I think I looked at those. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I just want to get back to work. But there's the product dimensions. I saw my Previous still playing over there, and I left it playing until I got away from the music so that I could check the sound, and I never remembered. I think I looked at those dimensions and they weren't. I think they're I think they're just like the biggest dimension, which is the fan shroud. That's exactly what that is a fan shroud, just like in a car or truck. The way that's designed, that's exactly what it is. I wouldn't. Anyway, of course, that's all hindsight now, but there is some dimensions given there: length, width, height. If I'm running out. I don't have enough space for my stuff, so I stuck my little measuring tape kind of under the corner of my TRS-80. You never get to see that, and I never get to play with it, and I never get around to it. I have a real Radio Shack TRS-80. This really cool guy gave me. And I went into detail about the contact cleaner. So, The only thing I want to do is get the endoscope and look at the can, see what it says, if it tells the actual ingredients on the can, because it doesn't give the exact ingredients. But this is what I got. Now, I've showed the can a while ago, but I'm not going to do that right now. What I was thinking is, okay, if I get on 2 and desktop, that's what I can do. Cam 2 and desktop. There we go. And then I go back over here. You can see the dimensions, and so can I. Now let me switch I got to do this again. I got to switch to the other mic so I can move around. Okay, now we're on the wireless mic, right? Okay, and at the same time, I'm going to reload my preview. Thing is, when you reload your preview, you have to wait for it to reload and then unmute the sound. So that's why I always go round and round with that. Anyway, it's mounted in there, and it's not even exactly square, you know. It's actually bigger in the middle. I can see that it's wider in the middle than it is there. Okay, 4. Forgot to switch it back. Darn it. Let's see. But my preview's done loading. If you'll come on and react here. Okay. Now, there we go. It says product dimensions, item dimensions. Is that the box? I guess that's the box. So what we'll be looking at is this, I guess. Okay, 4.1. So 4.1 is 4 inches 100 thousandths. And it's 4 inches on the corners, but you can see I can see that it's wide. Looks wider, I think. And then across, let's just kind of, there's not enough eyesight and not enough lights for me to, but I can see that it is probably 4 3/8. I can't see, it's upside down and I can't see it. Yeah, that's about 3/8. They say 4.1 and 4.5 and then 3.1 inches. So they're saying about 4.5 inches, which you can very well actually be that. But that's the fan shroud. That's not, see, it's quite a bit, sticking out on quite a bit past the the aluminum stuff. Can't say the words. And so anyway, and it's, you know, that thing is, I mean, you'd have to have a whole bunch of different dimensions to tell exactly what size it is, because it's all different sizes. So, I'm going to get on our endoscope. I'm going to close the browser now. So yeah, it didn't give, I think I figured that much out ahead of time. I knew that we didn't know the exact dimensions. Let's see, Endoscope and Cam 2. What I want now. Okay. So what I want to do is get up here, and this endoscope sometimes is just a nice work light for me. What I want to do is, I'm not sure, I try to aim it in a way that it's actually helpful to showing you something, but down under there is where one clip is. See, I can see it with the endoscope, but I can't get in a spot where I can really see it. So I think it'd probably be better just to get the one I can see and actually get with my fingers. I don't even need the screwdriver there. That one actually was just, boy, it's a good thing that that was not really on there. It's not on there. Okay, didn't know that. But that heat paste, it makes the stuff stick pretty good. So there's what it looks like when you take it off and put it back. You know, see if you just kind of, you know, earlier I was moving it around a lot, just trying to see if it was. That's what I was wondering about. Yeah, it was. I think it was touching all the way across. That was what I was trying to figure out. And it's still hooked on that back one. So I'm not going to go to great pains to get it off, because what I want to do
just get that memory. I can get that memory stick out of there. Ow! But I'm trying to do it with one hand. Can't do it. Sorry, but I'm just not gonna. It's no good way. When you're gonna throw that thing down there anyway, what's the point in trying to do it nice and slow? That's why I do split screen, so that your eyes won't go completely nuts. Now, that's all I'm gonna do. And I forgot to look, but let me get the endoscope and I can look. Let me just put this thing back. I'm gonna have to have both hands to put this back. But Robert, you should. I don't know. They didn't say anything about that, I guess, on their instructions. And yeah, it clips okay. Once it's not like, yeah, it actually holds pretty good. And so move it around and make sure it seats that stuff good. Now that wire for that, I really don't want it just laying on that other heat sink for that. If that thing needs a heat sink, then it's going to be warm. So, but with it standing up, it's not going to be inclined to do that so bad anyway. So now we got all kinds of clearance. But if you got one of these small motherboards, all the motherboards, they're all different dimensions. So, and you want to see how tight it was. I didn't show it just now, really. I didn't even think about it. Look at my previous video. It was just flat touching. It wasn't actually touching the top of it there, but it was touching the inside. And I was really worried about, so I could have left it, except that for that. I was worried about it shorting out the memory stick from that side over there. It may have only, I guess it would have only been touching the actual memory chips themselves, and not. I was just worried about if just one of those fins touched positive and negative solder joint, and there's bunches of them on these things, up and down and in between everything. Now there's one of the memory chips right there. It would just short it out, it'd blow it out. So now I could, if I had two memory sticks for this machine and that I was going to run, this is a 2 gig stick. If I had another 2 gig that I could put in there and I wanted to run that, see this, the sticker would have keep it from shorting out right there, but it all stops down here somewhere. I don't know where, but so this is nowhere near touching like this. See, and it does go in there, but it is so close that I would definitely, if I was going to run a memory stick in there, I would just put that whole side with electrical tape. So what I would do, and the heat would make it want to let go, but it's so tight in there, I think it would stay. The heat would make it let go. It would let go and slide down. And of course, well, I guess if you had some really wide electrical tape, it couldn't slide. It would probably stay without sliding. It'd probably let go and start curling around the thing. You'd probably just want to cut it off. Anyway, I'm not going to do that because unless I have to. If it won't run with one stick in it in the second slot, instead of slot 1, it's in slot 2. And yes, it does say slot 1 and 2 instead of, where did I see it? Could be down on this end. It says DIM 1 and DIM 2. I think it is on the other end. I thought it was. Let's go ahead and have to move that wire, I guess. You can't be too close, but you can't be too far either. I saw it just in the last video. I didn't have any trouble seeing it either. I think it's off to the side of it. Oh yeah, I think that's it right there. There we go. DIM A1 and DIM B. That says DIM B1. Yeah, DIM B1. DIM B labels. DIM B1, DIM A1, and DIM B1. Now, that's weird. That's not even... I mean, I've seen them that says DIM 1 and DIM 2 in the recent years, but used to all machines, desktop, laptop, whatever, that I'd ever seen said DIM O, DIM 1, DIM... And it was confusing. like even when you look in software that would tell you what you had, okay, 0 is 1, 1 is 2, and I'd have to go through that in my head. Well, now both of them are 1, but as long as it works, that's all that matters. Now I haven't turned it on yet or anything, and that's the next thing. This is it's a 4-pin instead of a 3-pin, what was on there before, but this is, it has 4 pins. So it shouldn't be, it should just, now, I imagine what it'll give me is speed control. I think before, I think I had, I don't remember for sure, but I think in the BIOS I had fan speed. I mean, temperature. I had a temperature reading. Yeah, that would be the, I think that, no, that wouldn't be for the fan. That'd be off some other wire somewhere. Where you get, maybe here, that'd probably be on here. One of those is probably the temperature of the motherboard, main motherboard wiring harness. Let's see, no, it just has 2 negatives. Is it 2 negatives? Looks like 2 black wires and 2 yellows, so that's 2 12 volts and 2 grounds. So I'm not sure where the sense, well, I guess the sense wires are in the big harness, yeah. There's all kinds of different ones. I learned a lot. I learned all that temporarily anyway. Well, they're different. All different ages and models are different. What they have, brands don't stay with this. They don't stick with the same colors. The only color they use, pretty much universally, is yellow is 12 volt and red is 5 volt. But there's negative plus. There's plus 12 volt and negative 12 volt, and same with the and 3.3 volt. The positive and negative, and then there's but on here you're going to have both. You're going to have positive negative ground and positive ground is what that means when it says plus 12 volts or minus 12 volts, and that's a pretty tricky thing to keep in your head. I've worked with AC and DC ever since when I was 18 years old. I was talking about Wichita Oil Company and building maintenance and car wash and gas station maintenance. I was taught, and then I learned in cars, and then I learned a little more about. I never actually worked with positive ground ever until 2000. I got a job installing telecommunications equipment, and the telephone companies use negative 48 volts for. They have these huge batteries. You wouldn't believe those batteries they have. Big old round batteries that are about half as tall as I am. They're like, they're about 4 feet tall, and they're about they're bigger around than this computer case, but another. They're big. I don't know. I can't think in my head. Like I said, I had a nice big meal and a dessert. Let's make it even worse. Okay, so I'm hooked up. I want to make sure that I don't screw this up. So telling storage is not as important as getting all this right. And luckily I had all the wiring and everything done ahead of time, but already. So I started to say I won't put the door on here, but yeah, I will, because I want the fans. Well, I do want to. Well, no, I already know what the thing sounds like with the other fan in it. So hopefully it's going to be a lot quieter. That's the whole. I mean, it was still working okay. Of course, I was afraid that it would go out at any time. It's the main reason I replace it, because it wouldn't really bother Mom under her desk, and she doesn't hear that well anymore anyway. But if it went out, she also would have no clue. She wouldn't even hear like me. If it's something I'm used to listening to, I'll hear the change in the tone, it'll get quieter. And I'll say, oh, that's quieter. What's going on? Or if it gets worse and makes more noise, I would notice that, And she might go for months, I might, unless I just happen to go in there and listen to it, I wouldn't know about it. I'd forget to check on it, So that's for, and it's only ended up being $10 for this one, and as long as it works good, then it will have been well worth it. And there's just, I can't find much difference in quality in products anymore, so why pay more for the same thing? Why pay more for less? I mean, if you buy the absolute cheapest thing you can get, which I guess is what I basically did, then, you know, it may be significantly less quality than some, you know, other products that cost more, but it also, there's bells and whistles, you know. And I don't know, well, lots of times with fans, it can be that the cheaper ones are just louder. So that's the only thing I may be sorry, it could be too loud. But people, if I understood the reviews that they were talking about this fan, at least they were all this brand, they said they were quiet. So that's why I decided it. They did not give the actual dB rating, the decibel rating, in there. They just said, oh, it's been tested by some website and it was quieter than something else. And I thought, that could be a way of getting around telling the truth, you know. But then when I saw that other people said it was quiet, I thought, okay. Of course, at the time I was forgetting. I tend to forget that they completely mix all these products together on Amazon now. So, but you know, the next price up was $16, and then you go up 25, then you go 35, and heck, they all had trouble. And those other ones, I kept running into the ones that just absolutely completely broke. The fans broke and stuff. So, well, I said that actually the ones I really saw the broken fans was the fan was all by themselves, because I found fans, they were just your standard fans, but they were the 92 millimeter, and they looked, I'm pretty sure they would have fit. Well, you know what, they might not, because the holes were probably in the wrong place. They're the same size of fan, but I don't know if they would have fit on that other heat sink. That was what I was going to do, is buy a new fan. That's what I originally was going to do, is buy, I thought unless I can't find one, I was going to just buy the fan, unless it turns out to be that you can just buy the whole thing for about the same price, and that's what it turned out. I found this one. $8 something for just a fan by itself, and $10 for a fan and a heat sink. So, okay, I think we're back together. I'm ready to try it out. Let me see, what else do I got to do? It cooled off. I went in there to eat, and like, I guess it probably took me 2 hours to eat, and well, it probably took me an hour to eat, I'm guessing, if that long. And then anyway, when I came back in here, it had dropped from like 77 or something like that in here. I had let the window open and the fan running because it was really kind of hot in here with me up working, you know. And when I came back, it was 72.5 degrees. I turned off the fan, and I didn't shut the window because I was afraid it'd get hot when I turned this machine, all these machines back on. Because I had the laptop off. I had my machine and the server running, and so now I got my machine, the server, and the laptop, and I'm fixing to turn on her machine. It's still 72.9. It went up just a little bit. I guess from just me getting the laptop running and me getting in here. Breathing up air, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, it's trying to think. I don't have a camera aiming at my monitor, so it's not a big deal anyway. So I'll just put one on. I'll just keep that one, just that one, and you can see the case light up. There we go. Oh yeah, because I'm going to get over there and listen to it. Okay, so far so good. Let me get over there. I'll do what I did with the other one. I'll take my little lapel mic, stick it up to it. I just feel more air coming out of that side one now. Oh, I didn't get to find out which way it blows. Maybe it's blowing the other way, the normal way, pulling the air out instead of pushing it into the heat sink. Well, yeah, it's quiet now. That was definitely it. Unless it starts making noise again. Well, I limited. I took the door fan off. I took the back fan all the way out. I don't know why. I was looking back at my video and going, why did I take it all the way out when I wasn't sure yet? You know, all I had to do is unplug it. I don't know I did, but yeah, that's like twice as much air. I can really feel it now. I thought that was kind of weird. I want that. I would have liked to have turned it on. Let's see. I still got the. I'll see if I can look through the door. I'll go on Cam 2 and that's all right. I'm not going to take it all apart now. But let's see. Oh, that light's reflecting too much. Let me just turn it off. There's plenty of light in there. I don't think I need any light. Yeah, now there it is running. And in real life with the red, you can't. It doesn't look as good in the video as it does. Well, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's a white fan blade, and so the red light's in this other fan in the front. It shines a sheen on it, and it looks kind of cool. I mean, I always liked the red light shining in the case anyway. So I've always liked these cases. Now they just made this model of case for a while and didn't keep making them, this exact one. And there's a lot of them with lights on them, but this particular one I just personally liked it. There is one thing about it. I've got one myself that I used for years, and those blue lights are bright. And even the red lights kind of bothered me at first, having it right up on just right next to my monitor. It's not on right now, but there it is, and there's my monitor. See, and I had that was on my main machine for years. I had to put something in front of those blue lights. They're so bright. So, yeah, it's quiet. Let me take my, good. Okay, I'm taking my mic and putting it down here by it. Okay, now that's right there at the power supply. And there's the back fan, the big one. And here's the bottom half is vented. No fan, just vented. And here's a spot where you plug in it's vented right here next to the. This is a really well vented case, next to the USBs and the onboard VGA and all that. And we'll go around to the other side. Here's the red fan, and well, of course, this is all plexiglass, so there's no other air sources. But get the flat. Go down here. I don't know what you'll hear down there. That's where the USB, and that's the only other place that air can go in from the front. That's it. I mean, it's all sealed up. But it doesn't matter with all the. With the extra fan door in the fan door fan, the hole, and even if it wasn't a fan there, it would still help it vent. But yeah, that makes me. I'm going to end up having to take that door off not tonight. I'm tired, but I'm going to have to take it off just to see which way that air's blowing. But I think it's doing what I thought the other one was doing. I bet you it's blowing the air out, and so then this one's catching it and pulling it out, naturally. And of course, this other one's pulling it out that way, so the air that gets pushed out got two routes to get out of the box. The way that other fan worked, I figured it out. The one that's making all that noise, it wasn't blowing air out like all the rest of them do. This only one I've ever seen, it was blowing it. Well, that I remember right now, was blowing it in towards the heatsink. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that functionally wise, but it made it tricky to get your airflow, or tricky to understand it for sure. So I'm going to sit down in the chair, because sometimes when you get to sit down, you notice things more than when you're up. Sometimes when you're 2 feet away or 3 feet away, you notice it more than when you're right there over it. But no, that's normal. Doesn't have that model airplane taking off sound to it. That fan is it's either wearing out or it's just really dirty. And I never did remember to mention that, but let me see, what scene I need to get on before I keep talking. I'll go ahead and get on my desktop. Where's that stuff? I'm gonna do it. This is the other thing I want to do. I want to do it right this second, but I'm gonna get my, figure out where I can set it, my cleaner, and I'll show it on the endoscope in a minute. But I want to get me a. Okay, I'm on the desktop. Okay, back on the SM58. I'm gonna check that stream again now. Where's my reload button? Now, what was I saying? I have no idea. Okay, that's good. That is a success. Oh, the machine itself. I didn't log in, or well, it's running. I mean, I'm sure it's working, but let's go. I need to go log in, and I'll turn on. There we go. I'll turn on the remote desktop. I'll have to go switch my KVM switch and get on it. Oh, I'm going to have to. The video was way messed up because I wasn't on it when I booted it up. Uh-oh, wait. It's making noise. Just like before. Okay. This is not good. This is seriously aggravating. Well, let's go over there. I'll just leave everything like it is. I was fixing to reboot it. Oh, I got to get back on my machine. To switch my mics. I'll do this just so I can see it, because I am in a about half confused way here. Cam Stream 2. I want to get over there and get the mic over there close to it. Alright. Okay, I'm back on the wireless. That's what I need to do. Okay, this is just on my... See, the one that generally made noise was the door. But I had it off, completely off, and proved it wasn't the one that I was hearing. Yeah, and I don't hear that noise as loud over there as I do at the back. Move this in a little bit, I'll put it here in a better place. The only one that could have fooled me is, I couldn't have... I could have unplugged the CPU fan, and then the only fan running would have been the power supply fan, but, it would heat up really quick, and I thought I'd figured it out, that it was this, I took the, this one out, what you're listening to now, which is the big fan. When I stick my ear down there, I don't hear that. I just hear the sound. What you probably hear now is that this tone of the fan itself. Now up there, you can really hear that sound better, but that could completely fool you because, actually, when I put my ear close to it, it seems to go away. It's when I'm standing up here. Right here is when I hear it the most. Right here. Got this mic right by my ear. It actually hasn't changed. It's the same irritating sound. what I can, sometimes you can bang on them and make it quit or make it change tone, and you can figure out which one it is. I think I could have just... I do not think it's that one. Like I said, well, I know it's not, because, I mean, you could always have... I really can't hear that bad sound when I put my ear by that. That one sort of has almost a clicking sound to it now. Let me put my mic back on. Don't you hate when you just get that rise and fall? You think you did it. You think, oh yeah, I've got it all figured out and fixed. And then you end up with the exact same problem you tried to fix. Let's see. Let me, I'm gonna flip my, yeah, I'll leave it on that camera. I'll flip it over to where I can control it. On the KVM switch. Yeah, it's, you know, there's one row of vents here on the back side of the case, and that's why I hear it's so loud sitting over here. I'll put it over here by it. I bet you can hear that. That right there. I bet you heard that. That's what drives me crazy. With it sitting over here close to me. Now I can put it down in the rack, and you know, I can barely hear all that. But that, like I said, something making that much noise, it's probably going to go out right at the time when you know, least opportune time. So, and what's really funny is, it seems to go away when I, you know, and there's always that chance of the vibration. It's not the fan bushings causing the noise, but just the vibration that the fan itself is causing on the doors or some component in the machine. But I'm going to open this door with it running and see if there's anything. I don't want to unplug. Remember, do not unplug anything with it running. You don't know what kind of shock that could send. I don't know what to say. Spike, electrical spike you might send back through the motherboard and burn something out. You know, I'm used to things that could handle, you know, doing things like that. So, and this newer, and I'm talking from, you know, the 70s on up till now. This stuff in the last 10, 20 years, it's more sensitive. So, okay. Now I can really hear that now. Boy, I swear. Let me take this mic off again. Maybe while watching the video back, I'll figure it out. Now, this one I can tell it's great. I can hear that with my ear. But the one that's making the noise, I forgot where I can. Like I said, I don't want to yank that loose, and that could be yanked loose. Oh, you know what? I forgot about that one. I completely forgot. Holy crap! And maybe the fan on the one I forgot about. Are you the one doing that? I think it could very well be. That would make sense why it's louder down there at that vent, because that's where that vent is down there. There's a hole. The case is kind of pretty solid, except for there's one big old round hole. You might be able to see it in the video right there. And that's where the vents are, right there. Oh! Why did I do that? Oh, idiot. You think I'm tired or what? I thought, oh, I'll stop that fan for a second and see if it quits. I really did that on purpose. But that fan is very sharp, isn't it? Now I got a dadgum chunk cut out of my finger. And I don't know how I'm going to put my mic back on. Okay, I get away from the fans, though, and you don't have no sense right now. But now, you see when I move my head? But you know what? I think that is it. I do have, well, I have 2 fans about that size out there in the garage. But one of them I know is old and about wore out. Yeah, when I stick my ear in this corner, I just hear the normal whir. All I hear is the normal whir of sounds, of fans. Get my ear in there and that would really hurt, wouldn't it? Yeah, that one there, it sounds good. And I think the one I just replaced was fine. That's really getting bad. I probably jacked it up, stopping it like that. Don't even get near it again. That is sharp. Very sharp. Well, I'm bleeding more and more here. I've got a paper towel. There, okay. So I need to put my mic back on my shirt so I can move about the room freely. There. I've managed to work on this thing, these fans, for how many days without doing something stupid like that. I usually don't. It's because my head's all messed up. I mean, yeah, well, those little bitty fans like that, the ones I got, and the only defense I got is the little fans that size I have, they're not that strong. You can stop them like that on purpose or on accident, and they won't hurt you. That thing is spinning fast, and it's got some sharp blades. But I got to shut the machine down so that I can, I can put some lubricant cleaner. I can spray it with cleaner. Probably want to take it off of there first. Okay. First I gotta go get me a Band-Aid. I'm hurt. I'm gonna cry. I need to put something on that so that it won't get infected. Well, that fan, I think, is going out. I mean, it's, I don't know. Maybe not, but again, I'd rather replace it than, you don't need to have my blood dotted paper towel. I need it. I need to get some alcohol over here. Ow, that stinks. Ooh. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, so what I gotta do, there we go. You know that moment when you realize you feel that pain in your finger and it resonates and you see that chunk of flesh coming out of flying up into the air and you say, what the heck did I just do? Yeah, those little plastic fans can hurt you, kids. Do not try this at home. Ow. What's that on my thumb? I think it's just blood. I don't think it's cut. My thumb's already sore from having a dry. It won't come off. I don't think I got my thumb into it too. Let me look. I still haven't got me a Band-Aid or anything yet. Yeah, it's just that my thumb is so, the skin on my thumb is so dry, it just, oh, it was on there and I didn't know, and it's dried on. I mean, it's not, well, it certainly ain't little. I mean, it ain't big, but it ain't little. It's way more than I ever dreamed could happen. I mean, from that fan. Ow. Let's see what we got here. Yes, I'm going to show it to you. I know you want to see. All right, let's see. That's what I did. Got me in 2 places. But the one that's reddish, it don't look very bad on there. It looks bad to me. That's pretty big, though. I mean, that's like a chunk. It's a chunker. I know. You had worse than that on Indian nose, hadn't you? All right. Now, let me go get a Band-Aid. Let's see. I got some Band-Aids over there and everything. I got a whole full hospital over here. Just give me one of these flexible Band-Aids. And I don't know if I don't want one quite that wide if I can get, let's see. Oh, here's what I need. I'll tell you what, I used this when I was younger a lot, and then I kind of forgot about it. Had it put away in the drawer, but antibiotic ointment. When I was younger, I was always getting pretty, working in the cabinet shop or doing maintenance work or any of the stuff I did when I was younger. I'd get, some pretty good cuts and stuff. And of course, it always happened during the day when you're out working, and then you didn't get to put anything on it till you got home, so it's already infected a little bit. That's what I'm looking for. These are too wide. Can't really tell by the package, but I can see the Band-Aid inside of there. So anyway, this antibiotic ointment, I had some that was probably 15 plus years old, and it still worked. I tried it one time because I had something that was getting infected, and anyway, if you'll just start out with it, you won't get infected. So you can put it on. Well, I always try not to put the cut near the, the tube of stuff. So if you can, you put it on the Band-Aid itself because it's clean and new. That's right, kiddies. This is how to put on a Band-Aid for old folks. Okay. And if if the Band-Aid's longer than your finger is round, the sticky part will end up on the sore, but mine just made it. But yeah, I got that alcohol, wouldn't even wipe that off my thumb, blood that came off the injured finger. That was the stupidest thing I've done this year, man, since last year. I don't usually do stuff like that. But I just guess I saw, oh, that's one of those little fans. Like I got out there in the garage, and I've stuck my finger in that one of them a bunch of times by accident. I just stopped it. Yeah, it was also wasn't running on 12 volts. It was running on 5 volts. Or maybe 6. Because it was in my Raspberry Pi, and it was running not off the Raspberry Pi's power supply, but the power supply that was originally in that box. It was for the HD TV tuner, which I think finally figured out that's what was wrong with it in the first place. I don't think it was putting out its full amperage, and then it finally, because it got to where it wasn't even putting out the whatever voltage anymore. Okay, so I'm going to unplug this so that this door's, oh, you're not seeing me. The door's kind of precariously standing up there. Let me switch back to the box. I went back over there and went back to work. Forgot that I hadn't switched everything. So, yeah, this is it, though. This is the killer. So I'm going to take that card out. Guess I'll take everything loose again, including the power. Take the power loose so that you don't hurt yourself from some other way or instead of blow out the motherboard. Something horribly bad like that. Trying to be really careful with my Ethernet cable not to break the clip off it, and then stick my finger in a fan, and that's okay. Don't break the clip on your Ethernet cable, but stick your finger in the fan. Oh, that's what I did with that screwdriver. There we go. Ow. I didn't actually hurt myself. I just my glasses ran into my endoscope cable. And lots of times I say ow because it's when things are unexpected. But this time, that was a real ow. Oh, this is one of those with a clip. It doesn't want to come off even when I unclipped it. Doesn't have a double clip, does it? It sure doesn't look like it. It's loose on the back, but it won't come off in the front. I don't understand. I turned the light out on the endoscope. I'm not going to turn it on for you because it would just look terrible, but I'm going to use it for a flashlight. It's hung in the front. It's hung in the case somehow. Did I get it? There. I don't know what I did. I don't know why it wouldn't let go. I had the clip loose that whole time there. At first I didn't. My endoscope is going every which way. Let's say that. Okay. I guess I should just turn the light out because that light makes it very, very hot, and I can't seem to get it anywhere where it's not touching something that would cause trouble. Okay. Now here's this fan that hurt me. Let's turn that back on. Get over here. And we'll look it over. I think it's just held, the fan's just held in there with I think it's just held in there with rubber things, rubber baby bumpers, rubber baby buggy bunkers. I'm trying to get the light back on there, but not too much. There, maybe that'll be it. Still too much. Yeah, it was a smart thing to do in the first place, wasn't it? Oh, there's the power cable where it plugs in. It's a two-prong. Looks like the ones I have, maybe at least one of them have that size, that type. It's got to be that exact size to plug in there like that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think one of them might just be loose wires. But these are little plastic. Oh, those are plastic clips. See, I saw that earlier. They're just, oh, they're those plastic squeeze things. See them? So it'll come off like that. But mine that I have, oh, okay, I think those go through. So what I'm worrying about is, well, those things, I don't think those are the same dimensions. What's that? That's a screw. Oh. This is a completely different setup. Yeah, this fan has, oh, it's a heat sink with the fan built into it. Just now realized that. What's worrying me then is, yeah, this is not, yeah, that's why, see those ones, I thought, that's rectangular, I can see the bolt pattern. It's rectangular. And mine I know are square. So yeah, that's a heat sink. So unless I had a sacrificial, I'd have to have the exact type of heat sink fan to replace that, bolt on or pop in. But I'm pretty sure that's what, ow! Then I got myself on the edge of the heat. That's sharp as all get out, the edge of that heat sink. It didn't really get me, but it just about did. Yeah, see, my skin stays all dry and cracked all the time. See, that's what I'm talking about, how dry. That thumb is so dry that blood just soaked into it. Needed the nourishment, I guess. But I'm pretty sure that's making the noise. But, this thing has an onboard video. So before I go any further, it just dawned on me, turn it back on. Without that, if the noise is gone, I don't know why I didn't think of that. I mean, I know almost all these video cards of this age, they have those fans on their video cards. All these machine, and so yeah, even though I might have a fan, well, what I might be able to do, I'll worry about that. Let's make sure if that is the real problem. I might be able to. I could leave that fan in there even and put another one right on top of it. If I could figure out a way to mount it. If I can get 2 screws to mount, that'd be enough. I started to say, well, you don't want that thing overheating, but really, as much airflow as I've got in that case, just the heat sink might do it. I don't know. It might. Yeah, that's the thing. Might. But it's not this, well, actually, prices of video cards aren't that much less than motherboards these days. So, used to motherboards were a lot more expensive, but they're not anymore. So, but yeah, I'm going to set that off to the side. Plug everything back up. I don't really need the Ethernet cable to keep, but I need a safe place for it to stay. And so in there is the safest place I've got for it. Oh, and today earlier when I was getting started, well, I tried to plug it in after it was already running and it didn't get any video. And I thought I better check my pins, and I started looking at them. One of them is just shy of falling out of there. And I don't even know if it's doing anything anymore. But I'm not going to pull it out unless it... Oh, I was like, I couldn't figure out where to plug it in. I was like, well, I just took that out of there, remember? So I'm going to plug it into the onboard. But yeah, this is to the point. See, these are all... this is not the kind you could rewire. I do think I have at least one VGA that's a split apart kind that I could rewire, but tracing down the wires, which wire, what color of wire goes to which pin on the connector, that's going to be the thing. Those things are not, there's no universal code for that. They use whatever color wire they want at the moment, when they're making those cables. So, I thought about it several times because I've had bad VGA cables on monitors and stuff. Well, I did do one once. I had a monitor. I had a bad monitor, I think it was. Anyway, I tried putting a new VGA cable on it. It didn't work. They were really old. One I think was bad, or it was just so old I didn't care. Anyway, putting the new cable on it didn't help. I don't even remember now. It could have been that I didn't know for sure if that monitor had actually gone out. And I think there was... I'm going in circles. So anyway, I can't believe I'm not done and fixed. I'm really pissed about this. Let's see. I'm trying to get back more in the center of the camera view. There we go. Okay, so now, that's actually a nice looking fan. And I do think that shock mount would actually, I think it's a good design as far as cutting down on noise. Vibration noise, I mean, you don't really get a lot. And this is the big fan, the Forgot the size that it is. And then there's a fan here in the bottom of this power supply. Now this time I'll leave the door. I'll leave it open. I'll plug it in. I didn't check a while ago, or I didn't realize after I hurt my finger, I lost my train of thought. But let me plug it up so that I can put it on there once I get it running. And just gotta be careful not get that in there. I want to see which way that's blowing, and of course see if it's making noise and all that. And this time I'm going to leave it on that view, and go ahead and reload my preview. Oh, it's been playing. Well, let's listen to it.
See which way that's blowing. Of course,
yeah, okay, that was all good. Okay, now I'm going to get on the machine. As you can see, that one that ended up being the one, the fan on the video card was taking its time about starting to make its noise. So it was tricky to figure out. It's kind of funny. Well, I don't know. I guess, you know, I noticed that if it's laying on its side, it wouldn't make the noise, and when I stood it up, it would make the noise. Kind of makes more sense now that I know, because, you know, when it was laying on its side, it's like this, and then when it's standing up, it's like that. So the weight would let this pull, you know, that way. So makes a little sense to me. I probably don't make no sense to you, but okay. So I'll just put that right there for now. Well, I can't get down there and check anything with it like that. Okay, there we go. But watch out, I'll get that. I was close to getting that wire in that fan. Okay. Now that's kind of making a little noise now. Not that kind of noise, but kind of a little bit rattly. I think it quit now. Just a little bit rattly, like they do sometimes. Those kind of fans are usually the ones that make the noise on you. Well, and if I don't watch out, I'm going to have it touching the case too. Oh, it's really quiet. But oh, that's what I'm afraid of. See, I got a big old long ponytail, and that can go in there at any moment. Oh, that's really quiet. Yeah. So I think that other fan, I'll give you the mic view here. Yeah, that's just right in there. Oh, that new one does not blow out. It's when you put your hand where the fins are exiting. Put your hand where the fins are exiting, then you could tell. I can't feel it. I really can't feel it either way. It's really, really hard to tell. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm sure that the power supply fan is blowing air into the case, which actually makes the most sense of all for a power supply fan. Because I always noticed how, the ones that would have the fan on the back would be pulling air out, and it would just pull all the heat from the processor and the whole machine, the hard drives, right through the power supply and overheat it. And I think that's why some of them failed, quicker than anything else on the machine. This one, it's weird. I mean, it moves air, but you can't. It doesn't feel like the old ones. They'd be hitting me in the face with me just standing over it here. But this one, you can't tell which way it's even moving the air. After getting my finger hurt, I'm feeling a little more conscientious here, a little more cautious. I mean, it's moving air, but really their biggest part of the cooling is the heat sink, and that's a big heat sink. It's even bigger than the other one, so I'm not worried about that. So what I'm going to do is put the door on it. I don't know what my talking's going to be like with me holding this mic in my hand. It's probably terrible. Sit down there by the fans. Okay, it pretty well quit that rattling now. It's just where I had it. Yeah, cable land. Good thing, that's a good fan guard. It didn't let the cable get in it. But this cable is the one that I've always had trouble. It's long so that you can get the door on and off, which is good, but it also allows you to screw up very easily and get it into something. Make sure everything is... That extra cable... There wasn't a cable plugged into that video card, was there? No, it doesn't have a place for one. That's audio, I think, anyway. Or actually, it could be USB. What about that later? Well, let me give it a look because I'm pretty sure it don't go. Nothing's out of joint, but I want to look while I'm thinking about it. I'll forget. AU1, but that's way below it. J audio, JPR. There it is. ACTS, CT. It goes up to the front of the case. The only thing on the front, well, there's two things on the front of the case, audio and USB. Oh, AC97, that's audio. Okay, there's a label on it. And that's the USB, yeah, JUSB going to the front of the case. Okay. So, no, that does not have anything. It couldn't, that couldn't go to a AC97 audio. It was a now older. It was the new thing, now it's the old thing. Audio that you would have to plug into your DVD, CD drives, actually before DVD drives, the CD writers and stuff. Well, it was just for playing audio. It was audio output, well, input and output, I guess, but digital audio is what it was. It was one of the original digital audio formats. Okay. Okay, now that one has more noise to it, but that is to be, I knew, you know, it's not that bad noise that I was hearing. Okay, now let's see if I can stand this up without hanging it all on everything. Because I want to stand it up because that's when it's always made its bad noise. You see, I get it all stood up and I think everything's perfect. I didn't screw the lid on this time, but so I'll have to be careful. I could. Maybe I should. Because that falls, sometimes it'll fall off and bounce and hit the floor. And then with that cable plugged in, it yanks it out. It has happened. Or, well, I don't know if it actually yanked it out, but it came close. I remember having some very energetic times trying to catch it. And I was going to just put one of them in there, but I think I will go ahead and put them both. These screws seem to be identical. The one, there's three of them, one of them that was in the... Yeah, most doors I don't fool around like this and keep screwing them on and screwing them off, but this one is the worst about surprising you. And it has that cable plugged into the motherboard. Worst about surprising you and jumping loose like that. So, alright, it's all booted up. I'm just going to log into it, and then I'm probably, as long as it doesn't start making that noise, I'm pretty confident now. Well, I was confident before, wasn't I? So let's just find out. Let it run a bit. Now I get why banging on it had no effect whatsoever on that sound. If I'd have banged on the video card, it might have, but I didn't know to do that because I hadn't figured that out yet. So yes, listening to your fans to see which one is making the noise is very inexact science. Well, if your memory's good and you remember to check them all, because see, I thought I'd checked them all. And I forgot about this sly little dog that bites, hiding in the video card. Well, we got a spanking brand new heat sinking video. Heat sinking. What is that thing? It's a heat sinking CPU cooler. There we go.
What is that thing?
It's almost 8 o'clock. I was tired a while ago, and I was thinking, man, I'm just gonna get this put back together and get ready for bed. So now a while ago, you know what? Earlier I got it to make the noise again by making the machine run hard. I had the browser open, I had that Dragora open and stuff. Now I see why that actually made a difference, because making the video card work harder made the fan. It probably even had a speed control on it, made it spin faster. So I went to YouTube. I didn't even start a video and it started making noise. Oh, I'm not just cut on one finger. My other finger's cut too. I thought something felt sore. Yeah, that's new. That's not just an old split. So when I got into that fan, I got in it with 2 fingers. Probably because when I jumped, well, I kind of was touching with both at the same time, I think. I just kind of put my fingers down there, dangled them on the edge of it. I can't believe I did that. Okay. I want to... Oh. Oh, I forgot to rename my videos from the other day, so I have 4 videos now that don't have the new title. I always just live, Don Bishop Livestream is my title until I get done, and then so I'm going to let it play in full screen there and switch back to my machine. Oh wait, I forgot something. That's just one of my videos. Of course, you can't see it. What am I trying to do? I was going to open up I think what I'm going to have to do, I'm just too tired to keep fooling with trying to fix that fan. I may not have a fix for it. I may have to order some fan or something. I don't know. Well, you saw it. I may not be able to, because now I'm going to go over and switch to my desktop and try to log into it. Not sure how I did it. Yeah, that's how I did it. The password I gave it, I wasn't sure. So, oops, I'm trying to hit F8. Now, there it is. I had just left this video of mine playing, and it should work okay. I mean, on that other video card, but I think things would be slower. I'm going to do that. I want to try to stress it a little bit. But that's the onboard video there. And the video card is out and it's quiet, just like it should be. I mean, you can hear the low pitch whir of the fans, and that's all. But once I stuck my finger in that fan and stopped it for a second, it really started making some noise. I guess I got it really out of whack. But you know what? It makes me think that it's probably really wearing out, that fan. Monitor, that's what I wanted. I'm going to look at it for a minute here before I quit, but again. But yeah, here's what I was thinking about this graphic readout. If it can handle it like this, okay, then I guess that's a good sign that the machine will handle Fedora 27. And now I'm running this, which actually uses quite a bit of resources, and I'm still leaving that video playing. See, it's not in full screen, but I can't leave it in full screen and do anything else on the machine. So, well, now there you go. It's slow. It's kind of slow. Well, of course, I am on remote desktop too, but like if I hurry up and switch over here and see, switch over here and see what the process is, what's doing what. Firefox is 82% of the CPU, and then web content 60. Well, that's quite a bit. And then the system monitor is using 24. So that's what I'm saying. This is a pretty good stress test. I mean, you could do all that. What is that? There's some one that'll run, you know, real stress tests on there. But I don't really understand the results. I don't know what it means. It's just, you know, some pie in the sky numbers that don't mean nothing to me. So to me, how much CPU and how much memory are you using? That's in real time. That tells me what's going on and what's stressing this machine and what's not. And so, like I can get back some of my resources of the machine by just closing down the system monitor. That particular one uses a lot of its resources. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to leave that video running, but I'm going to leave the machine running. And I'll just leave the remote desktop up and running like that. Now I'm going to go get my get that video card. Let me get the video card, get it over here on my keyboard tray, and get the endoscope again and look it over some more. I might take it off of there. Let's see. I wish I had a way to hold my endoscope. One time I taped it to my mic thing here. You have to have it like that though, see, and then I can't talk to it good. And it's really still hard. I mean, I need, like, basically if I had the mic standing straight up and down, and then I taped it to the side of it, and then I might actually be able to aim it at something. So one time I put it on my other tripod, the one that my camera that you're looking at me with from, but it still wasn't a whole lot better, you know, as far as the operation, and not. So you won't be able to see anything from any camera but the endoscope. So I'm just going to go straight to it. Let's get a little more light on the subject here. But the way it aims is really not too intuitive. But there's some screws down in there that you could get. No, you can't really get to them, I don't think. So I don't think you're supposed to get to those screws, you know, through the fan blades. That's what I was wondering. I think that's what's holding the heat sink on. No, what's holding the heat sink is these pinch things. See, I can get that off. What I was wondering, that is what's holding the fan on there. So this fan would come out of there. That's actually what I want. Now see, if I had a way to hold that, then it'd be really, really good. Maybe if I turn that like that, let's see, get my skinny screwdriver, see if it'll go in there. I'm actually using the video to show me where to put this. I may need a smaller screwdriver than that one. Let's see. Let's try one of these closer to me then. Okay, now I'm looking straight at it. No, that's my screwdriver head is bigger than that screw. It will go in there though. Yeah, it won't even go. It won't even go in the. Okay, I'll have to get. I don't really care for these that much, but I have these jeweler screwdrivers, I think they call them, or some people. I know when they sell them online, and a lot of times they'll call them computer screwdriver kit, but anyway, whatever they're supposed to be called, they are the only thing I got that's, well, no, they're not the only thing. I take that back. I have some others. As a matter of fact, these are so tall, so skinny on the handle. They're nice because they have that where you can that spins. But if you got anything that's got any kind of tightness to it, you can't really get it loose. I mean, I could put this, having a real hard time hitting the spot there. There. I'm afraid those screws are really easy to strip. It seems like. Let's see. The cogging of the motor, yeah, they're stripping real easy. I'll try this one, but I don't think that's going to be any better. I think it's too small. Well, no, it went down in there better. I have some other screwdrivers with some pretty small tips. I can't break that loose because it's so small in diameter. Oh, I did. I got it. So I have some others that maybe, I don't know if they have the small enough tips. There we go. That didn't stay because it's magnetic. That stayed because it just fit nice and tight. I think maybe the burrs I made on it a while ago trying to get those others to do it. I'm really lucky that I could do that one-handed like that. It's actually helping me to use, well, it was helping me to use the, how many of them are in there? I think there's 3. 1, 2, yeah, I think there's just 3. Oh, yeah, I got lucky on that one. Let's see about what's down in here. Oh yeah, there's a whole case of, but here's what I was going for. I got 1 or 2 of these. I think that's the one I want. Oh yeah, I have that one, and that one's I think might be just longer. I don't know if you could see what I was looking at for sure because I wasn't able to see the preview, but that one, I think that one may be bigger. Now let's try this one first. Okay, now, oh yeah, let's see if we can, there. Yeah, that's much, much better. I don't think these are magnetized either. But, oh, I think that one is. Yeah. I must have went and I must have took them to the battery and magnetized them. Good, good. Okay. Yeah, that one seems to fit just right. It's actually a good length for working with that too, so. Yeah, there's a huge difference. And see, look at the diameter of that handle. There's a huge difference in the torque you can put on something with a screwdriver of a bigger handle than one with a smaller handle. Just like you might, you
I guess everybody realizes the longer your wrench handle, you know, the more torque you got. But you might not think about it with your screwdrivers, but the diameter of the screwdriver makes a huge difference. Okay, now here's our fan blade, and well, yeah, it'll pick up. There we go. I can get it with my fingers. Okay, you know, if you could buy that, I never looked for one, but if you can buy that, there you go. That would be so simple to replace. That looks like, it feels like it wants to fall off of there, maybe because it's about gone. But it's probably got a keeper under that. I don't know. That's what I keep thinking. Oh, that's a cool master brand. How about that? I don't know. Well, you know, you can't go by brands anymore. Oh, there's the way for me to look it up right there. I can look for that and then see what other alternatives there might be, because since this one went out, I'd rather try something else. I mean, this has got less use on it than... There's not a lot of... There is one... I kept meaning to say this. There is one thing, you know, blowing out a computer is a real good way to clean it out. But, you know, you might... with the air pressure, you always could run the risk of blowing some dirt, sand. You know, you shouldn't have sand from one in the house, but up into the bushings of a fan or something, you know, that was like near it. Say things that are collected right up under here. You know how dust gets right up under there. Blowing it further in instead of out, you know. And because I have seen them that weren't making any noise or anything, start making noise after I blow them out, you know. So that's kind of the logical thing for me to figure is what happened. That is, I've never had one of these fans like this apart before, just like I never stuck my finger in one before. I guess I'll probably remember this one, hopefully. But I'm going to go ahead and get that off of there because it's working so poorly. I may not ever go back on. I may not ever want it back on there again. There's a clip. Let's see. I'm trying to see. My big old long screwdriver is just too long. I want to use something. I'm trying to do it one-handed. Normally I would just take the screwdriver, pull the clip. With the other hand, you know, I would pull it out either with my hand or the... This is kind of a double clip or something. Yeah, there's two of them kind of. Can't see it that good. Be careful to break it. I don't want to break it. Pretty flexible, but I think I'm going to have to... I don't know if I can get this like this with one hand. When I watch people try this, I get frustrated with them. I'm like, put the darn thing down and use both hands. You drive me crazy. So now I'm doing it. But yeah, if I had a good way to mount my endoscope, see, you can tell that the distance from the object, it's always changing how far you need to have it from the object. So when it's mounted statically in a tripod, you can never get it. You're always, you know, it's never right. So that's why I quit trying to mount it in the tripod. Even though this can be really aggravating to look at. Yeah, this is not going to work with the holding this. I can try to re-aim my camera though. I don't know why I didn't just do that a while ago. I can at least point my camera away from my face and down at my... I think it'll go down at my... where I'm working down here without a problem. There we go. So now I can... so I can't really see. I think I can get a hold of that though, so maybe with my fingers, it may be pretty tight. With my... If I'm not trying to use the pliers, then I can... I need that thing to help me see. So if I did have it mounted somehow, I was going to say earlier, I'm not going to use any of this. I don't think I don't want everything falling either when I open it. 1 minute it's actually broke on the back, so there. The hook's working really good. Anyway, that's what I've got all kinds of drivers. I keep this small set in here, and they'll fit in my little ratchet screwdriver. That's why I keep them handy in here. And I have this is my original set, or my older set, and then I have one that's a lot bigger. Probably not. That is Craftsman, which well, I don't think those are the guaranteed for life stuff, but anyway, they're pretty decent. They're all right. And the ones I have out there, big set, they're Black & Decker. They're not very good quality, but I don't wear them out because I don't use them all that much, and I use them mostly in a drill and stuff. So if I can get, now I can't see it. And I thought this screwdriver might do better, but it may not, because I don't know if it's going to go up in there. I never did really get a super good look at it, though, so. Yeah, okay. That is a weird, it's an opposite kind of clip than what you're thinking of. But you got to move both of those at the same time. I can see that now. Opposite kind of clip from what I was thinking of anyway. I think these are so small, and it's not enough light in here for me. I can't see the ends of them. I can't even tell which direction I've got them turned. But even though I could get my fingers on that, it's tight enough. A lot of these kind of clips are tight on their own without these connectors are tight on their own without the clips. I'm trying not to do anything, pry on these. I tend to want to leverage on something nearby, but that's not what you want to necessarily want to do on electronics and break something. You could, like I said, there could be some capacitor. I mean, these are going to be those surface mount capacitors, but I'm sorry, the resistors, they'll be like that. I don't see any capacitors. Well, that might be one. Those two might be, but I don't think they're capacitors either. Anyway, the tops of them, they're not going to do anything to you. No, I don't think they're capacitors. They don't look like them, and they got different numbers on them. I'm not knowledgeable enough to know what every little component is. But yeah, this clip is weird. Getting it to let go is really turning into a pain in the butt. It looks like the easiest clip in the world to get off. I say clip because there's these clips that are holding this connector. Anyway, it looks like the easiest one in the world to get off. It's actually fighting me more than most. Once I do get it off, maybe I can. I'll remember to show it to you. There. Oh yeah, needle nose there. The needle nose slipped, and they kind of almost grabbed and pulled on the wire. Luckily, they didn't squeeze. I didn't have it squeezed in such a way that it squeezed all the way and grabbed the wire real hard. But. Okay, so that came off. Now I'll show you why I had so much trouble. Where's that camera? I'll just Endoscope. Okay, now here's the little clips. Let's see. Can't really show it to you good. There. See the little tab sticking up? It's a little too bright, but they're okay. Now this other side, can you see that? It's just too bright, isn't it? Where is what I was trying to show? Now, there is the, yeah, you can kind of see the shape of it now. All right, I'm sure if you've messed with electronics, you've seen these clips. But most of them, this is the slightly different kind. I need to get somewhere where that white is not just, it's too much silver and white together, and it just ruins the view there. The focus, not the focus, because this is a it's a fixed focus with the light. Okay, now you see the little arrows. Instead of it being the kind where, you know, there's something sticking out that it catches on the side, it's the other way. Those two arrows, kind of see the little points. I mean, there's, give me something small enough to point with. Okay. Right there on either side. That's what's hooking. And so, but still, they're not made so that you could spread them apart. You still have to do this normal, what you would expect to do and go out, but you got to go real far out to get those off of there. And I didn't want to break them, so I didn't want to do excessive force on them. So anyway, I've seen enough of those, but that's not usually what you have on the computer parts. Okay, so the only thing in here in this heat sink is just, this is where it went, where it's screwed in. There's just the slightest little amount of dust in there. And I think yes. So, you know, there's nothing in there that was rubbing on to make noise or anything. Yeah, this whole worn out keyboard tray is always good background, isn't it? See if is that better or worse? Might be better. There it is. Cool Master A4010 55RB-A-2AN-C1. Okay, that is a long number. Oh, what's this? TCM4010-12SF. Well, I don't know what's the part number. Oh, plus is red, negative is black. 12 volt, 0.10 amp. 0.1. Yeah, so that's not very much at all. Interesting fan. That is not, I repeat, not, well, I'm not sure. Well, I can find out. Okay, this is a magnetic screwdriver. Will it stick to this? That's the cogging of the magnet of the motor. I think it's plastic. It's so sharp. I mean, you just don't usually see plastic that sharp. Let's see if this one, yeah, that one's magnetized too. It's pretty strong. I magnetized those recently, evidently. I think for years they weren't magnetized. They don't come that way. And I magnetized them not too long ago, so they're still pretty strong. Yeah, I can feel an indentation there. So that's probably where the, yeah, definitely get your numbers before, if you're going to want the numbers, you get them before you start cutting the labels. Of course, I might want to do this the same way. This is one of those aluminum material labels, so if I could peel it off and put it back on, I would, instead of just cutting that hole out. Because then once you pull one, if it's got one of those plastic clips like a lot of fans have, once you pull them off, don't stay on too good anymore. But that seems wobbly to me. And of course, I've never seen one before, but I just wonder if that's really worn out. Oh, I thought that was words, but that's just some symbols. But yeah, right now, if I could get that mounted somewhere, like about right there, and then I could work under it, and I could have both hands to try to get this little blur apart. But I believe that it is, I'm pretty sure that there's a clip under there. But I think before I even try taking it apart, see if that can be bought. I know I ain't going to fix it. I mean, unless it was just dirty and cleaning it would fix it. But it was making so much noise, I think it's worn out. Because usually when they're dirty, they might make some noise, but they'll slow down a lot, you know, because there's so much extra friction in there, in the bushing. I mean, part of me actually thinks that heatsink, even with the fan out of it, might be enough. Of course, if I could find a heatsink and replace it with a solid heatsink, and then the fans, as many fans are in this particular case, I don't see why it wouldn't stay cool, you know. Really. But if I can replace it with a new fan, I mean, I know that works. That's the design it was made with, so. I would, with you know, no fan and just this heatsink, that's not very many fans left, you know, to dissipate the heat, so. But that's not making a peep of noise over there. I mean, it's just humming along after all this time. Actually, yeah, well, I don't know how I could do it. I was trying to think there's some way I could. I can rig it up. I mean, I'm not gonna just hang it and turn it on. I'm scared of it. I could rig it up to my power supply amp. You know, I mean that's gonna be. It said 12. What said it right on there? 12 volts. So I'll run it on 12 volts. But actually, I don't know. Yeah, I guess if I put a screw in something, well, I can put it. What I can do is put it back in here and then just wire it to my power supply amp, because and then I can run it independent of the, you know, being in a machine, and confirm, well, I don't really need it in there, whatever's the best way to do it. Run it and see that it confirm that it is, you know, really making the noise I think it's. I mean, I know it is, but yeah, I thought I knew that, and I've already ordered the CPU fan. So, I'm really kind of aggravated. It kind of makes me mad that stupid thing, which cut the crap out of me. I know it was my fault, but it's what was the problem all along. I mean, well, what are you going to do? I mean, even when I always say, oh, I'm old and I can't remember everything, but heck, when I was young, I learned everything the hard way by making mistakes. That's the way everybody prefers to learn. I used to prefer to learn that way because I was a typical young person, but now I'm old and I'd rather learn the easy way, but I guess there ain't no easy way to learn. I used to, though, I remember my mistakes better than I do now, and I don't make the same ones. I didn't used to make the same ones over, other than the ones of stupidity and hard-headedness, you know, those are the typical ones we do. But, okay, I'm tired. I don't want to carry on anymore. It's 8:15 now, and I really had planned on having my bath already by now. I should have known. I had a tiniest little feeling when I got back on this machine that, well, it may take you a while, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to finish up here and get it back in the rack and have it ready for tomorrow to get to work back on the software. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to find out what's really wrong with the fan and fiddle for, what was it, 6:30, 7:30? It's 8:15, so it's almost 2 hours. Oh well. I had a good meal. Oh, I had a relaxing morning and a good meal this evening, and I did get some work done on top of that, so that's all right. Let's reload my preview over there. Let's get off of this shaky cam now. Oh yeah, when I get back on that camera, I'll be showing that. Oh well, that's all right for right now. But I am going to turn that light down on that. It makes lots of heat. Okay, so I'm going to leave this all apart. I need something to put these screws in. And oh, there's some tiny screws there. Okay. Yeah, I always forget about these screwdrivers because they're hidden under that. Sometimes I completely forget I have them. They're hidden under my little case of these. But those are some of the best screwdrivers. The smallest, that's the best small screwdrivers I got. I don't even think I have any more of just like that out there in the garage. I have some duplicates, you know, because I've collected the same set or similar sets of tools over the years. But some things I only have one of, and I think those four little 2 Phillips and 2 slot heads. I think I only have those 4 of those sizes, but I keep them in here for small things on the computer, you know, and then I forget I have them. A lot of times I'll always remember these because they're right in the top of my toolbox, but they're actually, the only good thing about those is the tiny, tiny ones that you can use in watches and stuff. That is the only way, you know, you can work on those things. Yeah, watch me try to, you think I can't see this stuff? Imagine me trying to work on a watch. I don't know, that's out on the end of my finger. You can't see it, but I don't know how I could even put a Band-Aid on that. That'd do any good. So that, I get, yeah, that wiring just goes through one of the sets of fins there. I'll look and see if there's a particular one, or I think it just goes through whichever one it lines up to. Yep. Oh, and it has a little bit of heat shrink in there too to kind of protect it. It doesn't go the full length of the fins, but it has some heat shrink, or not heat shrink, but opposite of heat shrink. It's protect the wire from the heat in the fins there. I think I'll just, well, if I leave it in there, I'll forget and pick it up and it'll fall out. I forgot to look at the ingredients on this can. That'll be for another video. But there's some bunches of writing on the back of it. But that, I'm tired. So that cleaner, I'm going to find out though if it says ingredients or not. All right. Now we got parts to put somewhere. I don't know where. For right now, I'll put those right there in front of the computer. I just can't leave anything on the wings of those. Can't leave anything on the wings of the, well, I went way up high there, but I'm going to leave it. I can't leave anything up high on the wings. What? I can't leave anything on the wings, the drop-down leaves, really, of the table over there. Because the instant you let it move, you know, whenever you're, like if you're just messing with that computer or whatever, they're going like this. And so anything that's on there is liable, excuse me, fall off. So, I'm going to unplug that endoscope while I'm thinking about it. All right. Oh, there's another screw for this machine. That's the one that held the video card in. Let's put it back. Yeah, let's put it up here on here for now.
Not enough room. It just almost fits, but not quite. Up there on. Okay, now.
Well, at least I did. I was so certain before. Well, I wasn't. I guess I did have a few doubts. I don't know if I expressed them, but I did have a few doubts in the back of my mind about my diagnosis.
But it's as quiet as a mouse now, really. I mean, it's actually not a loud machine like that. And that's how I remember it always being before. So now I know what it was. But yeah, that thing hasn't had the hour, anywhere near the hours of running that every other machine we got has. Because it's my mom's, and she didn't even run it that much, you know. She might go, just times when she'd go 3 months and never turn it on, you know. And the last year she's turned it on at least once every week and a half to order groceries. That's the most she's used it since she's had it. But
Okay, we'll go back to the SM58 just because I like it better. So, you know, I mean, I was trying to think of the reasons why that fan motor might have gone, you know, wearing out. I don't know. I wasn't paying any attention before I blew it out. I don't think I even turned it on in here. I think I may have taken it straight from her room to the garage and blew it out, you know. It could have been making noise in her room, and I never heard it because I hardly ever went in there. She had some kind of problem and needed help, but with it down under her desk, you know, it's not as likely for me to really notice it. And plus, we're talking, you know, all that stuff. So I don't know. I guess I'm overthinking. I'm overthinking it. I mean, I noticed it, and I did my best to figure it out. Ordered a part, put it in, was the wrong one. Wasn't the one that was making noise. So the other one. Now I can go back to the other fan. I'm pretty sure. I may try it. I may put it in there because at least it's close to that memory, you know. But that memory, it did work. I mean, it fit that memory in the slot one, and then I wouldn't have all this. I mean, it would be a real problem. I was checking my stream again since I went on and on. Well, since I switched mics, it would be a real problem, especially for. Well, say like if someone else had it, or someone did it and I wasn't around or whatever, and they said, "Well, we're going to put more memory in it," and you know they don't think, "Oh, that could," you know, it'll go in there, but they might not think about it shorting that memory out. If that CPU was to just be moved a little bit, and you can move it, you know, you can move it a quarter inch either way, spinning it kind of motion, that could perhaps cause those fans to touch. You know, if it could touch a positive and negative solder joint, then boom, there goes that memory and maybe even the motherboard. So, yeah, I don't like that one bit. So, now on another one like that ASRock motherboard, I think it may be a little bigger than that one. It may fit in there. And I believe it said it would go up to 90 or 120 watt. It would cool up to 90 or maybe even 120 watt CPU. I'd have to look again if I, you know, needed to know. But so it could work on that ASRock. I'm pretty sure it could work on the ASRock with, you know, like a 6-core, maybe even an 8-core processor. Especially in a nicely open and full of fans box, you know, a fan that's got good ventilation and lots of fans. Not a small, tight box, you know, without much ventilation. But anyway. Well, I'm going to have tomorrow. The first thing I should do is just see if you can buy a fan like that. I'm sure you can, but what will it be worth buying it, you know? And look around at my parts and see maybe just one of those other fans. I have 2 fans that are, well, they're about 3/4 the size of that whole heat sink. But if I could mount it up on top of that heat sink to where it's pulling air away from it or blowing air towards it, it don't really matter either way. As long as it's helping it circulate the air. And I think that one of them I may have cut its ends off and used just directly wired it, but the other one I think has a connector like that. And if it had plugged straight into there, then all I have to do is just figure out a way to mount it on there, you know. It wouldn't mount. I mean, they're not going to fit. They're not going to fit in that little hole. I know that, because they're square fans and they're bigger than that hole. But if they could set out on top of it, as long as I'm not restricted with space, I don't have a bunch of other cards and things that need to go right next to each other, which I don't in this machine. That'd be okay. And as well fanned and ventilated as that whole case is, I wouldn't be completely scared to death of that running that without a fan. I wouldn't really like it, like, again, because it's hers and she's not going to ever check on it. She's not going to know what to check on it. She wouldn't know what to check, you know. So, yeah, okay. Well, I'm tired. I'm trying to figure it all out right now for no reason. All right, so I'll come back later, tomorrow probably, and turn the holiday into a work day. Stupid. Shit. Okay. I'll see you later. All right, bye-bye.